really early into my first term as mayor, or like in 2016. I reached out to some of our other leading ladies across the province. So I reached out to Warden Betty Ann McCory, Erlene McMullen, and Kendra Coombs, as well as Amanda McDougall. And those three ladies are in CBRM, and Perla McLeod as well from Victoria County. So we started meeting for lunch. And as we kind of created a little support network for ourselves. And in some of those discussions, some of those kind of lunch discussions was, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could kind of replicate this on a grander scale, so that women could feel supported, not just for women who are already elected, though, to encourage more women to come and sit at our council tables. And what happens simultaneously with that was conversations and wonderful relationships beginning to form with our First Nation leadership as well, our strong female leaders in our First Nation communities. So Karen Ann Bernard, she's from Eskazoni, and we actually met at an engagement that was being hosted by Leaside Society. And Karen was speaking at that event, and I was speaking at that event. And since then, I kind of pitched her the idea of, wouldn't it be wonderful if we were able to create this support network for all women all across our island and all across the Strait region, from both our First Nation communities as well as our municipalities. And she really loved the idea. And as things progressed, we created a group of women from our six First Nation communities in Eastern Nova Scotia, and that's Buckingham, Budladak, Membertou, Eskazoni, Wagmatcook, as well as Wekoma, and then women from our 10 municipalities, from District of St. Mary's, Town of Mulgrave, Guysborough, Antigonish, Town and County, Port Hawkesbury, Richmond County, as well as CBRM, Victoria, and Inverness County. And we decided to call ourselves Government Focus. And FOCUS is an acronym for Female Objectives Cape Breton, Unama'ki, Strait. So this was the name we decided to give ourselves, and we built a couple of projects. And the first project, actually prior to the leadership school, the first project was tackling the issue itself of gender inequality at our council tables, most definitely, but also we definitely didn't want to draw a line in the sand about it being just about elected positions, because it's about leadership more generally as well. So we looked at the stats early on, and the stats right now with regard to elected positions is that out of 130 elected positions all across the Strait, all across Cape Breton and Unama'ki, so that's band councils as well as municipal councils, there are 130 elected seats. And out of the 130 elected seats, there are 30 women total. And that isn't great. That's not a great balance. So one thing we thought, like in our discussions, we thought, like, how do we change that from a mindset perspective? Like, how do we, because it's more than just convincing women and encouraging them and inspiring them to leadership. It's about creating an enabling environment in our communities here in Eastern Nova Scotia that will embrace and value women as leaders as well. So the way that we wanted to approach that was, it's important that we celebrate the female mayors, chiefs, wardens, councillors, from band councillors as well as municipal councillors, past and present, from all across Eastern Nova Scotia. So that is what we did. Our project that was supported by the Nova Scotia Rural Communities Foundation,
Yes.
they supported us for a project to celebrate women in politics. As a result of that project, we created a website called electher.ca. Very, very simple. We presented all of those basic statistics. We have given kind of a tipped our hat to all of our elected women that are presently serving on there as well, and we also we use that website as we continue with our second project, which was the Leadership School for Women. And if anybody wants to go on that website, it has got an incredible amount of resources with regard to local government. And it also you'll be able to see what we mean when we talk about celebrating our past and present female leadership. So part of that original project, other than the website, was going to be a bit of a traveling show celebrating our female leaders, because we wanted the communities to see the wonderful female leaders that we've had past and present. And that show was supposed to launch in March, and of course COVID-19 happened.
Yeah.
And we were unable to launch that show. We will definitely, the intention will be to do that when it's safe to do so. So we still would like to do that. But the wonderful thing is that the banners that we created for that Celebrating Women in Politics traveling show, we were able to use those for the leadership school. So we had 16 banners all around the room and the Membertou Trading Convention Center, in the room that we held the leadership school. And each of those banners showcased one of the 16 communities. So each community had their own banner, and each banner celebrated two or more women from each of the communities with a wonderfully inspiring quote from all of the women, quotation. And that really just lent a lot of value to the event.
So can you give me a sense of just how the conference was carried out? Was it held in a physical location? Was it entirely virtual? Can you give us a sense on some of the people that might have spoken, and just what the overall feeling was for the participants throughout? How did it all unfold over the last weekend?
Sure. So we started with an optional Friday night blanket exercise. And what a blanket exercise is, it's a kind of an exercise in the history of our First Nation citizens, and what happened throughout that history. It's very moving, and it's a powerful exercise in truth and reconciliation. So that was an optional event, but we were very grateful to see that there was a very high participation rate for the women who were registered in the school. We had to cap that event because of COVID and safety. We had to cap that event at 40 women, and it was fully subscribed. So it was really great to see. There was no virtual option for that exercise, but for the following day, our learning day, which was the Saturday, that was made available to women virtually as well as in person. So we had altogether about 75 women attending in person, and early estimates with regard to virtual participation are around the 50 mark, but we will be able to get more information exactly in terms of how many numbers, because we would have, it's kind of hard to track, but we will get that final number because some women were hopping on for the morning session and then some other women were hopping on for the afternoon session. So there was a lot of kind of back and forth, but that's something that we can certainly figure out. But I'm happy to report that prior to COVID, this plan for the Leadership School for Women that originally was earmarked for May 1st and 2nd, we were hopeful to be able to accommodate 100 women. Very happy to report that we've exceeded our original goal of having 100 women attend. So between virtual and in person, we did exceed that. But the wonderful part, Adam, is that we had Nova Stream that was there to live stream, but they also recorded the session. So the end game will be to have those session videos on our website at some future date, so that the 100 women that we intended to work with now will have no limit. So any woman or anybody who wants to take in any of those sessions can do so. So we hope it will inspire lots of women wherever they're watching, from really anywhere in Canada, anywhere in the world, even.
Well, it seems like there was a wide diversity of women from not only across the island and across the strait, but across different demographics as well too. And without naming names, I do know that there was a daughter and a mother that went together, the daughter in her 20s and
Yes.
the mother in her 50s. So I'm just wondering, what did you see in terms of different types of women coming from different types of backgrounds? And is it encouraging to you to see that it wasn't just one type of person at a certain point in life, that it was people from all the way across the spectrum that are now looking at the possibility of running for their respective municipalities and band councils?
Mm-hmm. There certainly was a lot of diversity in the room, and that was the intention from day one. We wanted to remove barriers that would prohibit participation, and we wanted to make this venue as welcoming and as inclusive as we possibly could make it. Uh, what that translated into was a lot of diversity in the room, which was wonderful to see. Could we have had more diversity? I think yes, we could have. We definitely could have had. It would have been nice to see more women of color attending, and we didn't have as many women of color. We had a really wonderful representation of First Nation women. We had a wonderful and diverse representation of women from municipalities in terms of age and background. So there, we had some 17 and 18-year-old participants, and then we had our elders there as well. So it was a broad spectrum in terms of age and in between. Really nice to see.
Can you give me a sense on what you and your partners do to help keep the momentum going beyond this conference, as opposed to just simply sending everybody home and saying, well, there you are, you're on your own.
Good luck.
Yeah.
We have some incredible partners that have helped us along the way. In addition, of course, to the Cape Breton Partnership. The Cape Breton Partnership was, kind of our sister organization that has helped us from day one. We I don't know if we adopted them or they adopted us, but the Cody Institute and St. FX Extension, they called us up one day and said, "Oh my gosh, we heard about your project. We're so excited. Is there any way we can help?" So of course, we said, "Yes, we would love for you to help," because they have this wonderful reputation for programming for women and leadership, and all across the spectrum. So we were so happy to be able to strike that partnership with them. And they will be doing weekly Zoom sessions starting in September that will dig into some of the topics that we were really only be able to provide a bit of a teaser because of the time constraints of doing it in one day. But they can certainly flesh out some of those ideas and, dig into them in more detail. And that'll start when it'll be held on Wednesday starting in September. And I'm not sure how long the Zoom sessions will be, but they'll likely be in the evening. And the topics actually will be determined by the women who attended. So we had an evaluation form that we asked women to fill out. And what are the topics that you feel need more time and attention? And once we're able to digest that information from our evaluations that were filled out, we will be able to offer that programming for women leading up to the next municipal, and also the next First Nation elections. And even afterward, we will look at, okay, like, now that you are elected, what are some things you should know before you dig into those public meetings and that sort of thing. So
Mhm.
there is also an opportunity, and we haven't quite fleshed this out yet, but there is also an opportunity to create a mentor system as well. So some of that could be with regard to helping with campaigning. Some of it could be after the fact. If women, need support with those early weeks and months as being a newly elected councillor or warden or mayor or band councillor or chief. So that is, again, we're kind of, this is very new to us. Government Focus, we've only been around for about 2 years now. And at the end of the day, we will always strive towards the two goals right now that we have, and that is giving women the tools and supports and the resources that they need, and inspiring women to leadership. So those are our two main goals for now. And with the elections coming up for municipal elections, and I do know that there are some First Nation elections that are coming up this October as well. It should be interesting to see what occurs as a result of those elections, and can we move the needle on the 30 present elected positions that women now hold. Will it be more? Will it be less? Only time will tell.
Did it give you some momentum going into this weekend, knowing that we have seen candidacies announced in a couple of regional areas? Amanda Mombourquette running for Richmond County's District 4, Lynn Chisholm throwing her hat in the ring for District 5 in Inverness County, currently held by the warden there, Betty Ann McGlory. Did that give you and your fellow organizers a bit of a lift as you were heading into this week?
I have been talking to Lynn. I hope to be able to have a conversation with her. So that's great. It's great when women are interested. Now, with regard to Amanda, and in Richmond County, presently has no women. No, there are no elected women at the table right now, and that is that is after having a larger council of 10 with two extremely strong and powerful women on that council at the time, Shirley McNamara and Gail Johnson. They are strong voices for their communities. And I lament the fact that there are no women on Richmond County Council, and that is a loss to the whole community. When I heard Amanda announced her intentions to run, I was so excited for not just for her, but for Richmond County, because for the past 4 years, it's just something that's missing, and having a strong female voice like Amanda on Richmond County Council would be such a gift to the whole municipality. So when I heard she was running, I actually asked her to sit on one of our panels. So Amanda sat on our panel, Women Have Abundance for Leadership. So that was the final panel of the day. And if anyone wants to go and check out that live stream and hear what she has to say, I think it's going to blow your socks off. She is a phenomenal leader, a phenomenal speaker, and Richmond would only be so lucky to have her as a leader there. And I hope that more women step up. I hope, and I have heard as well that we do have women interested in running in our town of Port Hawkesbury. Women have enough. Women don't have to worry about, taking a public speaking session, or, like they feel like they have to take some kind of civics course before they put their name forward. They will learn as they go. There are opportunities for education through the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities. Just do it. Just if you all you need to run, of course, other than the legal criteria that
Or
our province has set, is a passion for your community and a positive future forward outlook. I mean, if you have those two things, and you're willing to work hard, roll up your sleeves, and help your community to grow, then that's in my opinion, those are some skill sets. That's Women have abundance of all of those things.
yeah. Well, we'll look forward to seeing who does run for the municipal elections, and whether we do see a wave of women running locally. But in the meantime, given all that you do have on your plate, as we've just seen from speaking to you for the past couple of minutes, we really appreciate you taking some time for us. Brenda Chisholm-Beaton, thank you for joining us once again on Telile 24/7.
You're very welcome. Happy to be here and happy to talk to you anytime, Adam.